Let me not to the marriage of two minds by William Shakespeare. Let me not to the marriage of two minds is the well-known sonnet by William Shakespeare. It has not lost its actuality nowadays, as the theme of love will live until the humanity exists. In this very sonnet, the author cogitates about the nature and properties of true love. The author has a lot of poems devoted to this issue. The reader can interpret starting lines as the response to the question of the priest in the wedding ceremony about the reasons preventing the couple from getting married. The structure of the phrase, "Let me not to the marriage of true minds," suggests the thought of some dialogue preceding the sonnet. The first two lines of Shakespeare's poem immediately introduce the readers to his reflections about love. He calls it the marriage of two minds. The author, of course, does not mean the real marriage. He uses metaphor here to describe this especial kind of relations. Shakespeare uses the word minds instead of more obvious hearts or souls, underlining the ideal character of this love, when the thoughts of the lovers come hand in hand. He also does not use some material notion in order to underline the platonic character of true love. Shakespeare continues by developing his idea amid impediments. Love is not love. The formal word impediments, which was also used in the church wedding service, just strengthens the reference to the idea of the lofty character of love. At the same time, the author neglects the possibility of existence of any obstacles for love. The phrase "love is not love" shows the reader the following development of the sonnet. It becomes obvious that the author wants to show the reader the peculiarities of untrue love. Shakespeare then continues to develop his thoughts. He specifies the previous statement, explaining, as was expected, the traits of untrue love, which alters when an alteration finds or bends with the remover to remove. The author uses repetition in both lines to underline its sense. The repetition of alter helps to show that true love is not changeable, and only some other kind of relationship can be altered. The next line emphasizes this statement with the help of repetition of remove, stressing that even if someone is trying to destroy love, it will not give up and survive. These two lines also finish the first quatrain, which depicts what true love is not supposed to be and what qualities are not peculiar to it. The next quatrain opens with the line, "Oh no!" It is an ever-fixed mark. The exclamation, "Oh no!" helps to achieve the turn of the tone of the sonnet and the change in the mood of the reader, telling him that the author will show another side of love, stating now what true love is and what qualities are peculiar to it. The comparison of love with the ever-fixed mark again shows the unchangeable character of that emotion, as it was shown in the first lines. The next words, "that looks on tempests and is never shaken," even make the previous phrase sound more convincing. The reader should understand that in the raging sea of fast-changing human feelings, only true love remains unflinching. As we can see, the previous lines introduce some naval theme, and the next words extend it. It is the star to every wandering bark. It becomes obvious that an ever-fixed mark from the previous lines is the North Star, as it is the only star that never changes its position. The metaphor "love is a star" is not new for poetry, of course, but it also helps to underline the eternal character of this feeling, as many men have used the same words before. Love can also direct you in the right direction if you are lost. The next line, "whose worth's unknown, although his height is taken," just confirms the associations with the star, as the seamen knew the location of it in the sky, its height, and could find their way home just by using it when everything else is unclear. The lines "love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come" represent the other part of the sonnet, which introduces the new idea of the opposition of love and time. Everything in the world is subordinated to the laws of time. The physical beauty will fade, and the lovers will not be as attractive as they used to be. However, love does not care about it. It stays above the physical world, and time has no power over it. The last lines of this quatrain enlarge the opposition of love and time and give a short summary of the sonnet. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. Eternal time is just brief for those who are in love. They do not notice the hours, weeks, and decades spent with their loved ones, and love does not disappear with their death. It can only be finished with the end of our world, at the edge of doom, which is the metaphor meaning the end of days. The ending couplet is a strong finish by Shakespeare. His final words represent very impressive and meaningful ending. Are the lines, "If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved." The author achieves several purposes at the same time. First of all, he challenges the reader by the direct question and insistence to give some evidence of him lying, what is rather difficult to do. However, there is the second meaning of this phrase. The last lines present a rhetorical question, which is known to be the strong stylistic device, usually used to prove the ideas of the speaker. It becomes obvious that the answer is already known. Let Me Not to the Marriage of Two Minds has become one of the most well-known poems of all time. The author starts the sonnet with some kind of expressive answer about the wedding ceremony, which leads to reflections on the peculiarities of true love. The language of the sonnet is not very rich, with different stylistic devices, and some metaphors used here are not new for the poetry of that time, but they are not the main thing in this sonnet. The reflections about the nature of love are the key points of the story, and they are so perfectly organized that it is very easy to be involved in the discussion. Ended with the rhetorical question, this sonnet shows Shakespeare's conviction in the existence of true love.